I feel very privileged that Professor Raghvan has actually accepted our invitation and is giving you the introduction to the supply chain analytics. And I could not think of a better name than him in the field. And I'll tell you the reason. From last, as I said, that I was taking this course for many, many years, and we all found that there's no book. There was no book. So there used to be only one book on supply chain modeling, which used to be by Shapiro, which is a very reference book and very different book. And then we have to do a lot of search in order to teach the course. And then last year, Sir decided to write a book which is based on his experience of taking this course for many, many years. And I'm sure he'll be talking about it. And when I saw that course, and then I had a call with the Sir saying him, thank you. Thank you for that book.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
An authority in the subject. And we all are very, very privileged that we'll be learning this very first section, inauguration session in some ways, from Sir. Sir is a professor with production in the XLRI, with production and operations management area. He's also chairperson, Center for Logistics and Supply Chain Management at XLRI. He's member of the governing body of XLRI, Jamshedpur, and I understand how busy he is. The last month when I sent him a message, he was actually not in country. And then he just landed and he agreed to take the session in 3 days' time. Sir, I can't thank you enough. I am short of words to actually say thank you to you.
Thank you.
He is an authority in everything. I mean, whatever you talk about, he has his degrees from IIM Bangalore and his AMSTAT from ISI New Delhi. He has publications in Transportation Research Journals, Computer and Operation Research, Journal of Sustainability and Supply Chain Management, Transportation Journal, Transportation Planning and Technology. His research interests are typically in sustainable supply chain management area, supply chain analytics, supply chain risk management, logistics management, and transportation planning. He's also one of the senior editor of the Journal of Business Logistics. And the book I was referring to, which he has authored on supply chain analytics, it is published by Wiley India. Some of you who will perform very good will actually get that book for your future reference. So I welcome you, Sir.
Thank you.
Giving you this small gesture for supply greenery, knowing something. I mean, right now we are only talking about the ESG goals, and then here I don't have any other option to present you. Actually, this is the virtual bouquet from my side.
This is more appropriate. Yes.
Thank you so very much, sir. Session is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Milani, for the kind words. Well, she has really, given a lot of introduction about me, and I don't think I am worth that much. And I am a student of supply chain management, not an authority. So, because so much is done every day almost, difficult to catch up with when you are 63, 64, it's difficult to run the race with the youngsters. So I'm trying to run the race with them. So some of you in the academics would know that how challenging it is today to teach the students, right? So that makes us also on our toes. Well, I saw the profile of the participants, and first of all, I thank Dr. Milani for asking me to share this session, and also the AICT authorities for sponsoring these programs. So I'm very happy to be part of the program as an opening batsman. So I don't know how it's going to be. So there'll be a lot of pace attack, I think. But my job is simplified because nothing in depth about it, more of introduction only. So that way I'll be saved. So in depth means I have to show the entire book to you, which will take one semester course. So at least in this session, I just want to make a small introduction about the subject and its importance. I saw the profile and I saw at least 50% of the people are in supply chain, and the remaining 50 are non-operations and supply chain management. So it's difficult for me to pitch exactly where it is. So I'm going to assume that initially 1 hour I'll discuss about the setting the ball rolling for the supply chain management first, and then bring in the context of supply chain analytics in that. So I hope some of you are already teaching and in the area of supply chain management. Please treat it as a repeat kind of a hearing for you, and please bear with me for that. But for the benefit of others who are in the class, I thought I'll cover that and then get into the other things with some small indication of areas of applications and tools which are normally used. Well, just to share with you a few things which it was not a part of my introduction there, my other interest. Well, this is my basic thing, what she told me. But I also have a lot of interest in cartoons. I draw cartoons. So I draw cartoons on the students. So they are the best material for you to get inspiration from. This is a cartoon I normally drew when I saw how to model the students' behavior over years. So my correction of the so many experience, I see that how they behave over different terms. So in the term one, how they behave. So when they join, they say, Sir, Guru Bhyo Namaha, Hari Om, all these things. And by the time they come to the third term, they just read all the marketing and core courses. They say hi. And then once their SAP is over after the third term, they come back from the corporate experience. They put their hands in the pockets and say and talk about strategy throughout the day. And once their final placement is over, their nose in the sky, they say hi Tasvi. They call me Tasvi because TA is Vijayaraghvan. They say hi Tasvi, how are you? So students, they say this we are not like this. I say this is a model because supply chain model talks about how the reality is being built. So this is my model. So you try to disprove it. So I tell this to every batch. And also the typical, placement fevers on the campus, which some of you might have noticed in the B schools, how the students demand packages. Here is a case where the package is so much, the MD begs that then I should get more than you. Please consider. And here is a case where the placement coordinator trying to place the students as products to the different companies. And sometimes when the companies come for shortlisting for interview, they do a shortlist based on some GD and make them to the final interview. And sometimes the topics they give are so vague, you just don't know what they are expecting. Imagine a topic like this: the relevance of synergistic strategic marketing management with the corporate profit planning with stochastic supply chain optimization models in the white paper policy in the industrial economy of the developing countries. So please talk about this, and you don't know what you speak in the GD, and somewhere God exists and karma theory works, and you get the placement. That's how the B school life goes on. And my recent cartoon on the corona variations. So I said, why would you think of Greek alphabets? Why not some Sanskrit alphabets also? Was my suggestion earlier. Okay. So with this small background, my initial background is more of supply chain, and now getting more into sustainable supply chain management and risk management, and also the analytical side of supply chain management. That's my core area. So before I start my session, I just want to ask one or two questions to the participants. Some of you are already in the area. We come across two important phrases in our kind of routine academic discussion or in practical applications. One is logistics management, and second is supply chain management, right? So, do you think these two are different, or they are same, or is it that we get mixed up with this? Our industry gets mixed up with this.
So logistics is a part of supply chain management, basically.
Okay.
So yes. Myself, Dr. Sneha Ghai. I'm so sorry, my video is not working. My camera is
Yeah,
not
so
working.
yes, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah,
So logistics is, as per my understanding, logistics is very important because logistics actually entertains your two things, that is transportation and storage, and which is basically a branch of supply chain management altogether. Yes, and we have to study both of them, to understand the applications and industry interface.
yeah. Okay. In fact, I had a session with the defense officers earlier. When I said this, they didn't have their guns in their hands. They would have shot me dead immediately because how dare you put the logistics under supply chain? Because they boast about their area logistics. They said everything is coming under logistics only. So so things may be different for different groups. But however, for our industrial applications, probably logistics would be part of supply chain, no doubt. Yeah. Any other perspective? Any other perspective about these two? Otherwise, I'm looking at what are the activities that come under logistics and activities coming under supply chain management. One is you're putting it as a subordinate of supply chain, no doubt. But what constitute or what are the decision areas in logistics and what would be the superset called supply chain management is all about? I just want your perspective. So nothing like right or wrong. I just want what is your take on this with respect to whether these words which are commonly used, sometimes interchangeably also, right? So whether it is same or different, and is it that we getting it mixed up?
So supply chain management will involve all the players in the domain, from starting from sourcing of raw materials to delivering the finished products to the consumers. And all the players that come in between will together make up the supply chain. Well,
Okay.
in logistics, we will see how goods are transported from maybe one source to another, how they are stored and all that. So I would say supply chain management is a higher order, comes at a higher order than logistics management.
Yeah, that we already accepted. So I'm going to subordinate logistics under supply chain anyway. Though I wouldn't like to call it, but academic discussions say that logistics is part of supply chain, no doubt. Logistics is only just transportation alone or something more than that? Is it just logistics is only transportation or something more than that? I would just simply call it as maybe transportation management, right? Why call logistics? Any other perspective from others? I want you to speak.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Please speak. Otherwise, I don't know who am I speaking to actually.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I am Abhishek Kashyap, sir. I am a
Yeah,
research scholar at
Yeah,
NIT Patna. So far,
Very
I
good.
think that logistic does not only talk about the transportation; it
Mm.
talks about the loading and unloading as well. For example, if you're talking about any food item, so
Mm.
starting from the farm to factory, whatever the ways it has followed, from coming from farm to the table of an individual, so what are the
Mm.
flows it has gone through, will
Mm.
all will deal into logistics. If it is not talking about a node, then it will
Okay.
be logistic. I believe this.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yeah. True. Any other?
Sir,
Well,
good
yeah.
evening. This side Sapna Yadav.
Yeah.
Sir, logistic basically we use the term for products, but supply chain also cover the services also.
Yes. Yeah. It includes In fact, service
And
supply chains are not well structured right now. So a lot of
yes,
research is going on about that. But however, it is relevant for both products and services.
or sir, we can say कि initially when we use this transportation, then we use the term only logistic inbound and outbound logistic, and this supply chain is a new concept and which cover the transportation from the raw resources, or we can say from the supplier end to the customer ends.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So let me just take you to this journey, because we can discuss this for a long time. Supply chain is, as you said, it's a typical new vocabulary we have found, and in fact, it was sometime in 1982 by a person called Keith Oliver. Was part of the Booz Allen Consulting Company. In an interview, he coined this phrase called supply chain management. So then on, the phrase caught on and became very famous. So still there are papers in the literature about how to define supply chain management. Still, I don't think there is any agreed definition on supply chain management as of now. People have seen this from different perspectives and giving a lot of different frameworks. Yet there are some popular frameworks, no doubt, but I don't think there is any agreed definition on this is what the supply chain management is all about. It's still being debated. So we see a lot of changes happening in the entire world, in this case, in the business context, about its impact, and we've seen the last 2 decades a lot of changes, and people have realized that being comfortable is not equivalent to being successful. These two are not synonymous, at least. So you may be comfortable but may not be successful, right? Well, sorry for the cliches, because most lectures and books start with these cliches. So my framework is basically from this picture, which I'm showing you here. Look at, there is a typical flow, as somebody pointed out, that the flow takes place from end to end. And we are talking about the actors who are involved in this. So there is a supply chain here and there is a demand chain here. So at every stage, there are a lot of actors with a lot of partners. And all these partners are doing some sort of an activities to bring that final product to the end customer here. But if you look at this focus of these partners in the business, it involves a lot of costs, right? So costs can be cost of production, cost of purchase, cost of inventory carrying, cost of warehousing, storing, cost of transportation, cost of conversion, right? So if you look at all these costs which are there in this entire flow, so one obvious focus of these people would be about cost management. So cost will be one focus of these people, right? And second focus would be on, and the business means not just cost alone, but creating some value, right? Some value for the customers. So ultimately, people have to see the value in the product or services. So most of the business models would be basically on these two important dimensions, either on cost or value or both, right? So this is where I would say the most of the business models would fall in. And if you try to look at the advantage when the companies compete, either they compete on advantage in terms of cost or in terms of value. So if I try to represent this in the BCG matrix, and x-axis will represent this advantage through cost in terms of advantage through productivity and advantage through value, and trying to put them into low and high. This is more of when both are low, we are talking about some normal commodity markets, not much to say about it, like any other ordinary market. Whereas if focus is on the cost in terms of high productivity, then we call them as cost leaders, right? For example, if you come to Jamshedpur and visit the Tata Steel, one of the biggest steel manufacturing company, and if you see their mission statement, it says Tata Steel should be the least cost producer of steel in the world. So their mission itself is least cost producer of the steel in the world. Good quality, but least cost. So entire strategy would be derived from this vision in terms of their other strategies, right? So this kind of supply chains, which are basically having cost focus, cost leadership focus, would focus on efficiency in their supply chains, mostly on the cost efficiency, right? Where all the costs can be more, try to see if they can be reduced, and then offer best products to the, where the best price to the customers would be the focus of supply chains there.